This is Boxing Tickets in association with our prize guy. We are up at Mossley Mill. It's fight week, delighted to be joined by the main man, the magic man, Mark Dunlop. We've sort of had a good look around the venue there. You've been sort of giving me the plans. Excitement building for the first Sunday show in quite some time in Irish boxing.
Yeah, Steve, thanks very much. Thanks for coming up here and being so patient. It's a tremendous venue, as you will agree. It's the surroundings, everything's fantastic. I'm really not too sure if there's been a Sunday show or when the last one was, but I know things are going well for this one, and it's new. It's a new thing. I'm not saying we're going to do it all the time, but if it works, we'll come again, and I'll definitely revisit the venue. And it's good for people outside of West Belfast to get an opportunity to maybe come to areas where they mightn't necessarily normally come, boxing fans, because let's be honest, 90% of the boxing is in the West, so it's nice to give everyone somewhere new to go to, and also give new people a take on what happens all around the city.
Obviously, the interview I done yesterday with Kyle, he was sort of saying this cauldron sort of effect, and this is my first time sort of seeing the venue. He was saying sort of in the build up to this, this has been his finishing mark sort of for his training. Like, I've seen the venue there, like,
yeah,
it's going to be a cracking atmosphere.
Yeah.
It gives you sort of vibes of Ulster Hall theme, but it is a theatre type, so everything sort of goes straight up. So it's going to be a raucous atmosphere on Sunday.
Oh, it's going to be incredible for each boxer. I mean, the noise in there is going to be unreal. The atmosphere is going to be unreal. To say, the tickets have gone extremely well. I think there's about 10 left online. But basically, yeah, there's the boys are all in half decent competitive fights, and everyone in there has a good view anyway. So it's going to be fantastic. It's fantastic for everybody.
Great way to sort of end the year. Obviously, this place hasn't been used before for boxing, so it's good in some respects that you're hoping this venue branch out probably into the boxing world, as you say. This could become a regular sort of thing for Kyle. I know I said yesterday he could fight here a couple of times a year, maybe. Depending obviously on how fast you're moving, but it's good when you can bring a different venue into boxing.
Yes, well, let's be honest, the show it's not like there's no title fights on. It's the first show I've done in a long time where there is no title show. What I'm doing is introducing some of the young talent, throughout Northern Ireland who are appearing on this. So they're all novice pros, and sometimes there are great fights, novice pro fights. They're all competitively enough matched. And there's none of them out of their depth, but they're all in good wee competitive scraps. So I'm really excited about that, and it's going to be fantastic.
Because you're saying there, obviously it is like a lot of the shows this year have been like the new kids on the block. We've got that conveyor belt of new talent coming through, and let's say all the fighters in this card have been relatively kept very busy. Obviously I know Kyle only made his debut in Windsor Park there, but everybody's sort of within a year sort of turning pro. There's a lot of new fans coming to the sport along with the new fighters, and I guess it's important in some ways where you give them a venue like this so they can...
This was, sorry to interrupt you, this was Kyle's debut originally, and then because I had a few dates held, and then obviously the Windsor Park option came up, and it was his dream. He obviously seen the promo, a lot of people did, and basically of the two places that it meant the world to him to fight in, and we're in reverse order. We've ticked the second box, and now we're going to tick the first box by coming here. And as I say, the settings, everything is fantastic, and really, it's an honour to be trying something different and being able to put a production on in here. And it's going to be, as I say, it's going to be very, very good. And I love that some of the lads are on it. They're people debuting, and it's just going to be a real good night.
Yeah, obviously Oisin Dunlop. I don't think Oisin's related. He has a Dunlop name, but there's no relation there, isn't that right?
No, there's no relation. But I've known him since he's a boy. He's Tony Dunlop's nephew, and Tony and me worked together for a long time. It's going to be great to have Tony back on the show. He's helping out in the corner, and I've known Oisin since he was like knee high. So it's good to see him develop and make his professional debut. Really excited about Cathal Jennings. He's a great kid. He's really sells himself well. We were having a laugh yesterday in Dan Anderson's gym about potentially bringing him out in the bin. He works the Refuge Council, and it'd have been a laugh to do that there. But all laughing and joking aside, he's an exciting kid, and while he's turned pro later on, he's got a big future. And let's just see where he takes himself. And this is his first time in front of the cameras, so it's going to be a good opportunity for the ones that can't get a ticket or can't make the journey down to watch him. You know, it's a Sunday afternoon. Like, what else is a lot of people doing? You know what I mean? It's very good. As you asked me a minute ago, it's working well because it's not affecting anybody's Friday or Saturday night out, and you know, it's an afternoon, so like the show will be wrapped up by 6 p.m. on Sunday, so, and everyone will be home for 7. You know, you can go back and watch it online afterwards, or you know, it's still not going to affect their work on the Monday, so it's very, very good, you know.
And as you're sort of saying there, for people that don't have tickets, I know there's about 10 left online, so
yeah.
if anybody who's sort of after a ticket, hopefully they might be sold by the time this goes out later on, but
yeah.
you know, it's going to be streamed on TG4 obviously in the south of Ireland, which can be picked up anywhere.
Yes.
It's also going to be shown in Box and social YouTube
yes.
channels, so
yes.
there's a big spectrum for people to tune in. And Sunday boxing, we see them with boxer and things like that, they do shows on a Sunday, and they seem to go very well, so it should be a good online presence to watch the shows.
No, I think there will be. I think it'll be very good. You know, as I say, for Kyle to be headlining in his second fight, you know, it's fantastic because, you know, it's an experience. They're all going to be, this is going to be a different experience for everybody on the card. No, there's no doubt about that. No, you know, because one, it's a new venue, and two, you know, they're all novice pros, as I said. And as I said, when Kyle fought in Windsor Park, it was 5 o'clock. There was a crowd there, but you know, they were that spread out, you wouldn't have known there was too many there. But it's going to be a different scenario here tomorrow night for everybody, because all their fans are going to be in touching distance, you know, with their fighters, you know.
Do you think that puts a bit of extra pressure on them when they have this sort of theatre type thing where they're actually going to feel like, we see some of the venues, and people always love the Ulster Hall and York Hall because they're close and compact to the ring, like people's going to get really good value for money here on Sunday, you know, they're that close to the action. They can hear, normally when they watch boxing on the TV and they hear the people ringside and they hear the thud of the punches, like people could end up with claret over them. You know, they could hear the sound of the punches. Like, people's getting their money's worth here.
Oh, it is. It is definitely like it's like a cauldron. There's no doubt about that. There, and you know, obviously the ring. You've seen it there. You've seen like the stage. The stage goes way back. The floor lifts up. It's people wonder how's all this going to work out, but it's going to work out fantastic. And as I say, the thing about Ulster Hall, it's very good. It's also expensive to go to, but the seating isn't particularly good down below. The balcony in Ulster Hall is fantastic, but every seat in here, you've just had to walk around yourself. There's not going to be a bad seat, you know what I mean? But obviously, the best seats are obviously ringside, but it's completely sold out long ago. So yeah, no, it's very, very good.
And there's 3 6-rounders obviously on the card on Sunday. Obviously, Kyle's obviously stepping up to 6 in his second pro fight. Like I sort of mentioned to him yesterday, like he's only just turned 20 last week. You're moving up to 6 rounds because he's obviously headlining the card, but you're no mad rush at 20 years of age to go, right, Kyle, you're doing a 6 round, you're doing an 8. The next thing you know, he's fighting a title fight. So this is just to get adjusted.
When we had the chat with Kyle originally, I didn't even want to go near 4 rounds. 4 rounds are a nightmare. There was a kid fought last week on a Frank Warren show. He made his debut, you know, and he touched down, you know, and the score ended up, you know, 39-38. You know, it was close to being a draw. I know I stay clear of it. If you're a professional, you really want to be like maybe have your debut, but then move on to 6-rounders because, you know, it's a different sport completely. Like as Cathal Jennings said in his interview, a 4-rounder is like a longer amateur fight, which it is, but you have to start somewhere. So we wanted to start Kyle straight on to a 6-rounder at Windsor Park, but time constraints didn't allow that there. Whereas here, you know, we all could have done 6-rounders, you know what I mean, but some's ready and some's not. But you know, Kyle has a bit of amateur pedigree about him, so, you know, I think he'll be okay over 6.
Someday, obviously.
And there is no rush. Again, getting back to Kyle, he is just turned 20. There's no, you know, I mean, there's no actual panic or rush for titles or anything. The first 2 years here is about him getting every sort of scenario, exposure, experience, you know, in every different type of opponent we can get for him. It's a learning game, you know, and for them all. So, you know, that's what it's all about on Sunday.
You're known as a magic man for a reason. Obviously, you've guided so many people's careers and you know how it best works. I guess it's probably Kyle probably understanding coming from the amateur code that it takes a while to settle down, like you've done it with obviously Colin Murphy and stuff recently. So you know the process of how to get people ready. It's obviously just them going through the process of adapting from amateur boxing and really coming to terms with professional boxing before they transgress the levels.
It is, and also like Kyle's on a big pedestal now, and basically as Colin, it's about me to actually say, you know, calm down. You know, these are situations that I potentially created, but I know when things are ready and people's ready for different opportunities, there's no rush, and the reason I can get them so far is because I'm able to say no, turn down opportunities that aren't the right opportunities. Where some people, it's the only opportunity. But I know, like it was to say, we're in here in our second, in Kyle's second fight. I've delivered what I said I would do, and it works out lovely, and it's nice for people to come somewhere different, and that's what I'm about. Is trying to, I enjoy this. This is fun for me.
14 years in the game now.
14 years. I'm actually going longer than Barney Eastwood, believe it or not. And I'm going that long for a reason. Do you know what I mean? I've seen them all come and go. It really doesn't bother me what the next man does, because I know what I do works, and I've given a lot of kids a lot of opportunities, and I've had some great champions, and I'm delighted for everybody that's boxed on my shows. They've come on to be champions, and that's what it's all about. There's no animosity with me whatsoever. I love boxing. Do you know what I mean? And I love being involved in it. A lot of people will tell you the same thing. They love being involved in it, so it's nice to be well spoken of.
Something that's probably, it might go for some people under the radar. Hijjah McMahon obviously makes, he's fighting in his first 6-rounder.
Yeah.
Seems to, I know people speaking a lot about Fabio Wardley, obviously
Yeah.
came from the white collar circuit.
Yeah.
He just done the same, and he seems to be a duck to water. Like this
Yeah.
is his fourth pro fight, and
Yeah.
Sunday his first 6-rounder.
Yeah.
And he just seems to be impressing everybody
Yeah.
that goes.
Yes.
It goes to show you, Mark, nowadays you don't need an amateur pedigree. You don't even have to box as an amateur.
Yeah.
Fabio Wardley's a testament to that.
Yeah.
But he just seems to be able to run probably before he can walk in this pro game.
Well, it's a level of opponents he's facing too. I'm not he stepped up a bit here. Owen Durham's no mug. You know what I mean? I actually chose him because he's going to make Hijjah think his last opponent more or less covered up and took a lot of shots where, Owen's going to make him think, and that's what it's about learning. Me and Jay Byrne, his manager, have had this conversation, about his opponent, and saying, that's what he needs, is the wee step ups all the time, because you've explained exactly his background. He's no amateur experience. He is a good kid, but he's been fighting lower level opponents too. So, there's no mad rush for him either. But this is all about, if he gets 6 good rounds in, I'll be happy. You know what I mean? And I'm sure his manager will be happy, and he's fighting a southpaw. It's all, everyone's having something different, whether it's a debut, something different about everything for everybody on this.
Definitely, and as I say, that's what it is. It's facing the different styles, as you well know, over the years. 5 fights in the card, plenty of good value for money. Obviously important, probably in a good way. It's good to end the year with another new venue in the sport. Is this a venue that you use, once, twice a year moving forward in the 2026?
Well, I've another couple of dates booked here. It is really hard to get a Saturday in here, but if the Sunday works, I'll do it. It depends. As I say, and it's not miles away. Like Charles McDonagh, who we'll talk about in a second. He lives in Dungannon. It's just up the motorway. You know what I mean? We're 10 minutes outside of Belfast, but that 10 minutes saves a lot of time. If Cathal's one's coming, so an extra 10 minutes on the bus. There's a train station outside here. You can get the train from Grand Central in 15 minutes outside the door. There's free parking. It's everything you need. It's just if this was in London or anywhere, Manchester, you wouldn't think twice about coming to it, because it's not bang in the city centre, but it's only 10 minutes out and it's accessible for everybody, transport way. So I like it. And as I say, even the ones that Charles McDonagh's ones are coming down from Dungannon, they're having to come all the way into Belfast or way up the west or wherever. They can just pull off at the Sandy Nose roundabout and jump in, and they're here.
Obviously on Charles, I'm appearing obviously another one of your cards. They give a really good partnership with St Andrews. I know he fought in the Ulster Hall and things we run this year. He's a partnership with JP Promotions as well. It's good to have them relationships with other promoters and give their fighters opportunities. They say you've always been one to give everybody an opportunity.
I don't care where they're from. Yes, no, Ian Wilson's a good friend of mine, and we've had fighters have fought each other, we've had a laugh, shook hands afterwards. There's no issues. Charles, this is his 4th fight. I think is it his 3rd on our shows?
It might be his 3rd.
It's his third of his 4th fights on our shows, and he's ready now soon to jump up to 6-rounder. Just as his last 4-rounder, definitely. And I think he's fighting in Burns Night in Glasgow. He's already got a date for after this, which is good. So this will tee him up nicely for it, and he's got a good crowd coming down. And funny, we had, again, as I said to you, it's all I'm standing here all relaxed now because I finally got everybody matched again. But last weekend, like, people took fights that weren't meant to take fights. A couple get stopped. You know, one of them was charged as opponent. I've managed to secure a new opponent now, and I'm delighted, you know, that we're back on track again. But what a hassle, and what a, you know, people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. You know, only those involved know. You've been around me, and I've give you backstage things you've seen what goes on behind the scenes. Yeah. And it's not all me standing in front of this camera thinking things are rosy. It's been a stressful few days, but we're back on track now, and that is the main thing, you know. Also, with Ian Wilson's fighters on, or not Ian Wilson, Ian Gaughran has a couple of lads on, and yeah, and as I say, I've worked with him a long time, you know. Jamie, Paddy, they're all fighters. Anyone's welcome in my show. If there's room, it works, then I'll do it, like, you know.
Yes, not everything makes sense. Like, after 14 years in this game, Mark, like, when you still get these wee hiccups with fighters and things, like, probably in the past it would probably annoyed you, whereas now if something doesn't go wrong, you're going, why is something not go wrong? You always have to expect something to go wrong.
Well, I'm very well organised, and I take a lot of gambles. Like, even with booking my flights, I've lost a couple of flights this week, but that's down to me. It's down to taking the chance. But, like, I understand if, you know, these are professional fighters, and if an opportunity comes up, you know, a week out, you know, and they jump in, you can't deny them about a big payday. You know what I mean? But you have to have respect to it. If you make an arrangement with someone, you know, it is what it is. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's going to be a really good day. Sorry, yeah.
Obviously, just want to finally touch on, obviously, Belfast, another world champion, obviously Lewis Crocker. Obviously, Kyle was on that card.
Yes.
In Park.
Yeah.
I know that when it's an all-Irish fight, I know Paddy Donovan was training in your gym, obviously, on fight week, but it's, I guess, in some ways, with us being selfish in some ways, it's fantastic for Belfast boxing, because imagine we're going to bring the big lights and the big cameras back here next year, which obviously will help Kyle and your other fighters and also other fighters here, which, as we've seen in the years with Frampton, Burnett, McConnell, you know, it's that conveyor belt coming through, but there's so much fresh talent coming through. They're all going to get their eyes on the big screens.
Well, no, I'm delighted for Lewis. Like, let's be honest, he hasn't just appeared. No, he's done what these guys are all doing. You have to start somewhere, and he's done that. You know what I mean? And he started it, and he's worked his way up, and he took his opportunity, and he's grabbed it, and he's now champion of the world. No one can ever take that away from him. And I really do hope. We all want to be like selfish and say, you know, come here. But if he gets a life-changing payday in Las Vegas, what he's talking about, or Conor Ben, then you got to dive at it. You know what I mean? You win that there, you know, it doubles again. It's now, Jamie's not stupid either. Jamie will make the right decisions. Not the decision can't be for Northern Ireland boxers or Irish boxing. It has to be for his fighter, and like, you know, I'm really happy for him. Like, it's the dream come true, and it's a position I'd love to be in. You know, I've hit the goalpost a couple of times. You know, when I'm coming again, but you know, boxing's a short career, and he's got to do what he has to do to secure his future financially now, because legend status is there. No one will ever. He will be now mentioned, you know, on everybody's lips as Monaghan. We're all there, you know. He's on it. He's earned fair play to him.
It's great to see, you know, world champions 2 years in a row. Kakachi obviously becoming an IBF world champion last year. Lewis Crocker this year. You know, people's weighing up and looking at all the mathematics stuff now, and they're going, with another world champion next year. Like that, all this big talent coming through now. We had a couple of years we didn't have a world champion. Obviously, Katie's still been there, but it's important that we keep producing these world champions, because they're then going to keep bringing, you know, I think Jamie Collins said to me quite a lot of time, we need to keep bringing these big promoters back, because it's all well and good having the small shows, but people want to have the dreams and aspirations of fighting the bigger shows, which is why it's important that your shows, you know, and Jamie Collins and JB Promotion shows, they're all the footprint for bringing the bigger shows back.
Well, they can't come all the time. You have to have a headline act. That, you know, it costs a lot of money to hire the SSE Arena or even the Ulster Hall. You know what I mean? They don't pay financially. You need TV money, and when you get to that stage, you want to pay your fighters like accordingly for their big fights and the entertainment, because everyone's sitting around the world watching them. But it's not a platform you can, you know, it's not a platform you can jump onto. You have to earn your right to get up there and earn that sort of money, and that starts in venues. Even like the Devonish, you know, like as I say, I started out in the Devonish myself. I had six shows in a row, and then you try and move and progress. The Ulster Hall, the Europa, some brilliant nights, the Gurwood, even here now. You know, you're aspiring to give people memorable nights, and yeah, no, that's what it is. It's tough, but it's a tough business. But you know, I'm not complaining because I can walk away, you know what I mean? And I've got like 14 years of memories. But everyone else, funny, the other day I got a nice message of Paul Hayland's dad. It was something we shared. It was his 7th year anniversary when he won his IBF European title fight. And it's nice that I'm getting their messages of thanks all these years later, you know, because there are opportunities that kids never got before I moved back to Northern Ireland and took up the reins. But as I say, I'm going a long time and with no real, you know, been through every situation, so I'm no real rush to walk away just yet, but I'm enjoying how it's going. I'm enjoying, this has given me a new lease of life because look at this, Steve. I mean, you can see what's behind us, but you can't see what's around us. It's mind-blowing, and this is only like 10 minutes outside the city centre. So hopefully other people can use this as well. And I'd have to put shoes on, I can put my fighters on theirs. But at the end of the day, you know, I'm here for boxing and I'm here to help people progress, whether they're with me or anybody else, because you can't, it's a hard game, and if it was easy, there'd be 10 promoters, wouldn't there, like, you know. Now, in terms of Sunday, as I said, 10 tickets left there. They're on the Theatre de Mill box office, and I will just like to give you a few instructions of what's. So, from the main entrance here, it's open from 1 till 2 o'clock for the VIP only, for their dinner, for their Sunday dinner. At 2 o'clock then it'll be open from 2 o'clock onwards for the normal boxing fans. There's a full bar for either, but if they'll not be open to them until 2 o'clock. After after the lunch, the boxing will start at 3 o'clock. As I say, there's free parking and free parking, and say there's a bar, and you know, it'll be a great afternoon's entertainment. And then also any of the fighters and the teams, if they can come, if they're watching this, come via the stage door at the rear, where they'll be obviously responding and let in. Just save me reiterating, people coming trying to get in different doors. That's what's going to happen.
Well, Mark, it's starting to pick up a bit of wind here.
My hair's blowing away.
We don't want to get blown all over the place, but obviously we're only a few days out now from obviously fight night. For anybody, obviously it's not going to be here. The action will start from 3 o'clock on Boxing Social YouTube and TG4 YouTube. But thanks as always for your time, Mark.
Yes, and I'd just like to thank all the fans for trying this new venue. It's going to be absolutely incredible afternoon and memorable.
Thanks for your time, Mark.
Thank you.